Hey, welcome to another reading vlog. So I've just been trying to film some booktube and there is so much thunder going on outside right now that I don't know how I'm going to make the audio work for those videos, and I was going to film another one, but I think we're just going to have to stop because it is not nice outside. And you would think you could still do inside things while it's thundery outside, but that noise is really annoying. So I guess I will try and edit up what I have managed to get today. And then, since it's so yuck, it's definitely going to be a going to bed and reading night. So I will be continuing The Painted Man, which I started last week and I really want to finish this week. I actually just got up to this chapter and I'm pretty sure they were introducing a third point of view character on page 153. So far it's kind of like just short stories. Like, we introduce a character, we tell a little bit of a story about him, then we met this girl and we told her story. Now we're meeting another guy and I guess we're gonna get his story. And then by the time we've told his story, we'll be halfway through the book. And then what? Are we gonna get another main character? Honestly, no idea. So that'll be interesting to find out. I have also started Stronger, Faster and More Beautiful by Arwen, what's her name? Arwen Ellis Dayton. To be honest, I thought it was going to be like more hardcore science, like more out there kind of ideas. Whereas so far I've listened to one short story and a little bit of another, and the modifications that are happening to people aren't very extreme. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that, but I've only just started, so it could get better. So that'll be my reading focus for now. I did also forget to say that I went to the library yesterday and I did pick up Nevernight by J. Kristoff. I doubt I will have time to read this month. It'll probably be what I end up reading at the beginning of October. Oh my goodness, imagine making plans for October already. This year is nearly over and that is scary as hell. I also picked up The Girl from the Other Side. So this is like a little manga graphic novel story about this little girl who is raised by this big scary guy. Again, I want to read this right now, but I think it can wait until the start of October. I'm not sure what else will be happening this week other than thunder and reading those things. I think Tome Infinity Readathon, which I've just decided I'm going to do, starts on Friday or Saturday. So there's that. Obviously, I've still got a lot of books to read from my TBR machine challenge, but it depends how long it takes me to get through The Painted Man, how much more of the week I'll have for reading other things this week. Hopefully a lot. I mean, if this weather keeps being like this, I'm going to be doing a lot of reading, which isn't all bad. Not at all. Hey, so it is Wednesday now. I don't really know what happened yesterday, but I did manage to get some reading done. So I listened to a couple more hours of Stronger, Faster and More Beautiful. I do think like it's slowly getting more extreme in the science fiction, which is interesting. Also, all the little short stories are like somewhat interrelated. Like it's kind of like a bigger story about humanity over time. And there's some shared characters between the short stories, so I am really interested to see where it will go. Unfortunately, the main characters for the last two short stories have not been my favorite. This is always my problem with short story anthologies, is that you just end up not liking some. But hopefully we'll get back to some more interesting characters soon and I'll end up liking this. I am actually about to go into town. I'm going to a meetup tonight and I'm also meeting up with my mentee. So I should be able to get a decent amount of this listened to today while I'm walking around town and driving back and forth and all that stuff. Also, I did manage to get past halfway in The Painted Man and we've been jumping back and forth between the different characters again. I kind of find it weird that after halfway we still really haven't brought those characters together in any way. So it feels a bit disjointed in that respect. I do really like the way that the demons work. So basically in this world, when the sun goes down, demons come out and all the humans basically hide away in their houses and they have to use these wards to create a magical barrier that stops the demons from getting in. Doesn't always work, drama happens. So I am still enjoying this, but I don't think I'll get much rid of it today. Maybe when I get home from the meetup, maybe not. We'll see how it goes. So I guess that's all for now. I am, when I go into town, going to be parking at the casino, but I'm not going to use my arithmancy reward yet because this weekend we're actually staying at the hotel in the casino. We won a free night's accommodation and it's Jason's birthday, so we're going to have a nice holiday in Auckland, even though we live in Auckland. It's fun to do. But I better get going, so I will check in later. Hey, so welcome to Friday the 13th. I feel like I've been really bad at vlogging this week, but that's okay. I've also been really bad at reading, and we're about to go on our little birthday holiday, just staying at a local hotel for free. Free is always good, but that means I'm not going to get any reading done. But I did do some reading yesterday. I'm not completely useless. So for starters, I read the Maui and Other Maori Legends book. It was just really cool to read all the Maui legends, although I have to say Maui is a little shit, just causing trouble all the time. So I think my favorite story was definitely when Maui fished up the North Island of New Zealand. So it kind of starts like this. He's got hooked on this little Maori house on the top of this big fish, and I honestly, like, who built this house? It's under the ocean. Who built it? Who built it, huh? Anyway, he fishes it up, and so you can kind of see, like, this is the North Island, and it's this cool little fish guy. So it's kind of fun to imagine that I live on top of this, like, stingray creature. And also, like, Maui was like, it's all nice and flat, don't touch my fish that I've just fished up. But his brothers don't really like him, which fair enough, because he's such a little shit. But his brothers are like, oh, but we want to eat it. So they cut it all up, and that's why we've got so many hills and mountains and valleys. There's also another story in here all about the mountains and how they had a big fight, and then they split up and they made all the valleys as well when they went rushing across the country. Like here, you can see Taranaki's run off because he's like, screw you guys, I'm going home. And he left this big valley behind him. I don't know, it's just, I love reading legends about how things came to be, even when they're kind of ridiculous. Other than that, I have been going faster on The Painted Man. I feel like the pacing has really changed. Which I don't know that I like, actually. Like, it's letting me get through it faster, but we're now kind of jumping through things quite quickly. So I'm up to page 340. I don't know if I'm going to finish it this week. I'm going to try, but I probably won't get to read any more until like Sunday. Oh well, holidays have to be had. Also, I did go to the library yesterday and pick up a couple more books for December, and I was meant to include these in my Tome Infinity and Beyond Readathon TBR, but I forgot because I didn't pick them up until the day after I filmed. But I am excited to read them. I love this cover. Ooh. Which Tim is that? I think it might be Tim 22. I'm really excited to get to these, but again, we're going on holiday, so we can't read them yet, but that's okay because we have to save them for the Tome Infinity Readathon, which actually I think starts today. So I won't be officially starting the Readathon for a couple of days. Holidays. Anyway, Jace will be coming around soon, and I still haven't packed, so I better go and finish sorting myself out, and then I'll talk to you guys later. So, goodness me, it is Sunday night. I don't know what's happened. No, I do know what's happened. I had a wonderful holiday. We spent the night at the hotel, which I think I forgot to take any footage of the room, so whatever, but we went shopping and walking and had some fun at the casino, and it was a good time. Also, we did then the next night watch some of the Dark Crystal, so we're about halfway through that now, the new Dark Crystal. And then today was Pokemon Community Day. Annoyingly, my brother was in Melbourne, so he couldn't play with me, but I did get a lot of shinies, so that was good. Also, while I was walking around, I did finish off a couple of audiobooks. So, firstly, I finished off Getting Things Done by David Allen. So this is actually a reread for me, and it's a book all about productivity. What I noticed on this reread is this is like an updated edition, but he's still very attached to paper systems. And personally, I still really love paper, especially in the form of post-it notes, but some of the things he was suggesting using paper for are just kind of ridiculous in this digital world that we live in. Also, the other thing is he's clearly been doing a lot of executive consulting, because he kept referring to, like, if you have an assistant, which who has an assistant? Definitely not me. Anyway, I think after I film this, I'm going to do my weekly review, because what I did get from it is kind of that weekly review is really important for keeping on top of all your stuff. So I got something from this reread at least. I did also start listening to Every Heart a Doorway by Shawnee Maguire. This is also a reread for me. And I actually remember now that Every Heart a Doorway wasn't my favorite. It wasn't until the second book that I got really into the series. So it's really good to be rereading it, because there were a lot of things that I have forgotten, and now having read more of the story, I know which bits I need to pay attention to in order to further understand some of the future things. So I'm glad I'm rereading it or re-listening to it. It is due back at the library tomorrow, but I've only got an hour to go, because it's a very, very short audiobook, just like it's a very short book. So I will be finishing that tomorrow, so it shouldn't be a problem that it's going to return itself to the library. And then I can actually start on some of the Tome Infinity books, because I decided I was doing the Tome Infinity readathon, which actually started on Friday, but I haven't even started reading any of the books for the readathon yet. Thank goodness it's a 2-week readathon. Also, as far as The Painted Man goes, I haven't read any more of it, obviously, because I have not really been home, or at least I have been home, but not when I would be reading. But I am, once I do this, edit up my vlog, do my weekly review, then I'm going to go to bed and hopefully get through a decent amount of this, because I'm looking at the amount of books that are still on my TBR for the next 2 weeks, which is what's left of the month, and it's a lot. And a lot of that is because I've been prioritizing other things over reading, which was 100% the right call, but I want to read more as well. Isn't it frustrating? I just want to do everything, and you can't do everything. It's not possible. Anyway, I am going to go and do that. I think I'm going to wrap up this vlog. I'm not sure how much reading we really had in it, but I think I finished a few things, so it is what it is. I'm a bit sad that I didn't manage to finish The Painted Man, but I will definitely finish it next week, or I will just, I don't know, give up on reading or something. I would never do that. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with me during this vlog. And I will see you again soon.